Let's be real. Robert Herjavec doesn't scream billionaire energy, but he doesn't need to. While the other sharks flash watches and flex private islands, Robert plays it cooler, polished suits, fast cars, a $320 million net worth, and a lifestyle that runs smoother than his Ferrari on an open track. He's not the loudest guy in the room. He's the one silently running it. From ultra-secure mansions to Iron Man training at sunrise, Herjavec's world is part old-school hustle, part high-tech empire, and all tailored to a man who built everything from scratch. And once you see how he really lives, Shark Tank starts to look like the appetizer.
Hidden Hills, like Beverly Hills, is an affluent neighborhood. It is a gated community populated by wealthy and well-known individuals.
Now, Robert doesn't exactly brag about his real estate, but he doesn't need to. The square footage does it for him. Let's start with the crown jewel. His 33,000 square foot mansion in Toronto's Bridle Path neighborhood, aka Canada's Billionaire Row. This isn't just a house, it's a statement. 10 bedrooms, multiple living spaces, a private spa, indoor pool, grand 2-story foyer, and a fully equipped home theater. And yeah, it's next door to Drake. There's even a separate tea house on the property, because apparently, if you're rich enough, tea gets its own building. Down in California, Herjavec owns one of Hidden Hills' more extravagant compounds bought for over $26 million. Set on 7 acres, the home blends rustic luxury with pure horsepower. Exposed beam ceilings, a professional-grade gym, full spa, glass-walled sunroom, and enough garages to store a small dealership. Outside, you've got a 65-foot infinity pool, koi pond, volleyball and tennis courts, and a few par 3 golf holes just for fun. And if that's not enough, he threw in parking for 11 cars. But Herjavec doesn't just buy big, he buys views. Case in point, his sleek Newport Beach getaway. It's a modern 3,500 square foot villa perched right on the marina, with walls of glass facing the Pacific, high-end finishes throughout, and a private dock for the yacht, obviously. So yeah, Robert might not lead with the flashy real estate talk, but his properties do a pretty good job of introducing him.
British driving experience, this is the bomb. And this is a 1971 Daytona. And what's famous about this car, it was the show car for the Chicago Motor Show.
Let's be honest, Robert doesn't just like fast cars, he lives for them. His garage, it's stacked. Think Bentley Continental GT for a quiet morning cruise. Rolls-Royce Ghost when he's headed to a meeting. And when he wants to feel alive, that's a Ferrari 488 GTB or a Porsche 911 Turbo S-Day. He even keeps a Lamborghini Huracan for the weekends just in case the others feel too slow. But here's the twist. He's not just collecting these things like trophies. Herjavec's a licensed race car driver. He's competed in real events like the Ferrari Challenge, and he's not out there just posing. He's actually placed. Podium finishes, helmet on, full throttle. He once said racing clears his head like nothing else. You focus or you crash. And yeah, that kind of mindset shows up in his business too. And when 4 wheels aren't enough, he's got motorcycles. A Ducati Panigale 5.4 for speed. A Harley Davidson when he wants something classic. And when he's not behind the wheel, he's in the sky. Robert owns a Gulfstream Guy V SP, a sleek, long-range private jet that costs around $6 million. It's fast, comfortable, and built for serious business at 45,000 feet. This guy's not just playing rich, he's living it with intention. Because for Robert, whether he's behind the wheel or building a company, it's the same game. Instinct, risk, control. And as for how he pays for all this carbon fiber therapy, that story takes us right back to where it all began. Cybersecurity, servers, and a little company called Brax Systems. If there's one thing Robert knows how to spot, it's a winner. He didn't stumble into wealth. He built it, one smart move at a time. His first big play? Brax Systems. A cybersecurity company he started in his basement and sold to AT&T Canada for $30 million. That was the launch pad. From there, He went from scrappy entrepreneur to full-blown tech mogul. And he didn't stop. He poured that success into the Herjavec Group, which quickly became one of the fastest-growing IT security firms in North America. We're talking government contracts, Fortune 500 clients, global reach. When companies need digital armor, they call Herjavec. But you probably know him best from Shark Tank. And yeah, he's made some slick deals there too. Like Tipsy Elves, the ugly Christmas sweater brand that turned a joke into over $100 million in sales. Or Syndaver Labs, a company that makes synthetic human bodies for surgical practice. Weird, but genius. He's not afraid to go for it, as long as the numbers make sense.
But I am a nice guy until somebody starts complaining to me about how hard they have it.
And here's the thing about Robert. He invests with his gut, but also with discipline. He likes clarity, hustle, and founders who don't whine. If you walk in the tank and pitch drama instead of data, he's out. But if you show heart, vision, and a real plan, he'll back you. Hard. This is a guy who built his fortune protecting people from online threats. And now, he's protecting dreams from dying in the tank. And the best part? He's still just getting started. Now let's step off the racetrack for a second and talk about something a little more personal.
When we caught up with them at rehearsal, they couldn't keep their hands off each other. So is love blossoming off the dance floor? Well, they won't say for sure.
He's amazing, he really is. We get along really well, we're having a lot of fun in rehearsals.
The truth is that Herjavec's life hasn't always been red carpets and Shark Tank deals. Before the fame, before the supercars, he was a husband and father trying to balance it all. He was married to Diane Please for over 25 years. They had 3 kids together and built a quiet, steady life. But in 2014, it all came apart. The divorce hit hard, both emotionally and publicly. Robert later admitted he fell into a deep depression and even considered stepping away from everything. Worse, the split caused a rift with his older children. For a while, they weren't speaking. That chapter of his life was very painful. But here's where the story turns. In 2015, Robert joined Dancing with the Stars and met professional dancer Kim Johnson. What started as a playful TV pairing turned into something real. They fell in love, got married a year later, and in 2018, welcomed twins, a boy and a girl. And if you've seen his Instagram lately, you know. Robert is obsessed with being a dad again. He calls it his second chance. He's not chasing success anymore. He's raising it. Sure, he keeps most of his private life out of the spotlight, but every now and then, you get a glimpse. Now, while you're sleeping, Robert is already sweating. For him, most days start at 5 a.m. No alarm, just discipline. While most millionaires are easing into the day with a green juice or a morning scroll, Robert's already working up a sweat. He's either lacing up his cycling shoes for a 50-mile ride or stepping into a sparring ring. That's right, the guy's a martial arts junkie. Taekwondo, kickboxing, you name it. Why? Because structure is his edge. He said it himself. Structure gives me freedom. And it shows. His schedule is ruthlessly optimized. Early workout, quick breakfast, then straight into high-priority work. No meetings before 9, no distractions during deep work blocks. He's not just busy, he's focused, hyper-productive, the kind of guy who builds a billion-dollar company and still shows up for his kids' school play. Even his diet's intentional. Clean eating and limited sugar. This isn't a man who just lives. This is a man on mission mode. Every hour accounted for, every move with purpose. But at the end of the day, for Robert, success means nothing if it isn't shared. After losing his mom to cancer, he became a passionate supporter of the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation, funding research that's saving lives today. He's also backed tech scholarships, immigrant support programs, and shelters for families starting over. His giving isn't about headlines. It's personal. Robert knows what it's like to arrive with nothing, to hustle from scratch. That's why he's so focused on giving others a real shot, especially kids and newcomers trying to break through. Most of what he donates, you'll never hear about it. But for the people on the receiving end, it's life-changing. And maybe that's the point. Real generosity doesn't need a spotlight. It just needs someone who remembers what it felt like to need help. For a guy who always looks polished on TV, Robert's had his fair share of messy. Back in 2017, an ex-girlfriend hit him with a lawsuit. Emotional abuse, extortion, the whole tabloid mess. But he didn't take it lying down and fired back with a countersuit. In the end, the whole thing was tossed out. But the drama didn't stop there. Around that time, he went public about spiraling after his divorce. Depression, suicidal thoughts, just rock-bottom stuff. Not exactly what you expect from a guy who's always grinning in a suit. But that's the thing about success stories. They hide the cracks. Robert didn't hide. He rebuilt. And he made the comeback part of the story. Robert Herjavec isn't just the smooth guy on Shark Tank. He's a control freak with a private jet, a fencing sword, and a ridiculous work ethic. This guy came from nothing, like immigrant kid who bagged groceries nothing, and turned himself into a boardroom beast. He's been sued, divorced, knocked down hard, and still keeps showing up sharper than before. That's the Herjavec playbook. Calm on the outside, relentless underneath. Love him or not, you can't ignore him. And honestly, that's exactly how he likes it.